Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. Short PSA, in this video I've got two stories and both of them have updates. Now let's begin with the first one. This post is from the subreddit True Off My Chest and it's by user ThrowawayDoc9817. I am leaving my wife tomorrow and I couldn't be happier. I, 45 male, and my wife, 44 female, have been married for 10 years. We dated for 6 years before that, and I got a lot of pressure to get married from my parents, and her. Something in my gut said that this wasn't right. I called it cold feet and did my best to ignore it. We got married, and pretty much the moment the ink was dry on our marriage license, things went south. On our honeymoon, she did nothing but complain I hadn't booked a nicer hotel. In the following months, she wanted a new apartment, a new car, gifts, jewelry, and handbags. It was never enough. It's like the moment she got the ring, it stopped being about me and became about what I could give her. I am a doctor. I make good money. Not good enough to support the kind of lifestyle she wants, though. We don't have sex anymore. We don't laugh. We don't talk about anything but money. We have no kids. She said she wanted them before marriage and then changed her mind. And our home looks like a showroom. There is no warmth or joy or even comfort here. I hate it. I hate her. I am a 45-year-old physician and I have barely enough savings to sustain us for 3 months. I want to retire someday. I want to enjoy my life. I rented a cool apartment across town in a less desirable neighborhood, and there's a stack of IKEA furniture waiting for me to set it up there. The lease is up on the Mercedes my wife pushed me to lease next month, and I will be replacing it with a used Prius. I'm starting therapy next week. I have a divorce attorney who has assured me that the prenup we signed before marriage means I won't have to pay alimony. I hope to leave the higher paying job that my wife insisted I take for something with fewer hours sometime in the next year. I'm going to ask out the pretty barista who flirts with me every morning. I'm telling her first thing tomorrow. I'm expecting her to cry and beg and demand we try therapy. I don't want any of that. This was never right, and I'm only sorry it took me so long to realize it. I'm sorry I've wasted so much of my life being married to a woman because I thought it was the right thing. I am so excited! Additional info from OP's comments. Thanks to everyone who has concerns about the prenup, but my lawyers and I are confident. At the time we got married, she had a significant inheritance, now nearly gone, which her family insisted on seeing protected. Her lawyer and my lawyer agreed on this, and we both signed. Also, the house is a monstrosity with almost no equity in it. She can keep it, all hers. I don't care. Her credit cards, my account, will be cancelled as of 9 a.m. tomorrow, and I'll make sure to change the recipients on my life insurance policies. Now, to address the whole barista topic that many of you are asking about, first of all, I'd like to clarify that I've never cheated, despite not having sex in over 2 years. I don't know a married man out there who is incapable of noticing if a woman is pretty, and it doesn't make them cheaters. What a ridiculous argument. Also, I understand that asking out the barista may be creepy as it's her job to be nice to me, and I didn't really explain more about the relationship I have with her because I didn't think it was relevant to the divorce. But here goes. I met her about a year ago. She's 30. I don't usually wear a wedding ring because my job requires me to scrub regularly. She actually asked me out, invited me to a food truck festival in town a few months into knowing each other. I said I was married and she was embarrassed. Since then, we've had a bit of a running joke going where she asks me, "So, still married?" My current plan is to reply, "Not for long," and see what happens. I appreciate the internet's apprehension. In truth, I would probably say the same thing if I didn't know the backstory, but I promise I'm not a creep. Well, OP's ready to do everything he needs to do in order to be free and happy. Now, of course, I'm not going to give a commentary on anything he's doing because he didn't ask for any. It's a true off your chest post. So we're going to move on straight to the first of 2 updates. First of all, damn, I didn't expect the post to blow up. I really was getting it off my chest and expected a few good luck comments and not much more. I know a lot of people were asking for an update, so here goes. Usually, when I wake up, I go for a run or a bike ride. While I'm gone, my wife gets up, gets dressed, gets a smoothie going, whatever. This morning, I paced the kitchen, rehearsing what I had to tell her over and over again. When she finally came down, I felt oddly calm. I wasn't expecting to be panicked exactly, but apprehensive at least. I told her I needed to speak with her. She gave me an uh-huh and didn't look up from the coffee machine. Then I just came out with it. I told her I was leaving and that I wanted a divorce, that we hadn't been happy in a long time, and I felt as though she didn't care about me or my emotional needs. Pretty much instantly, the gaslighting began. She cried that I never gave her flowers anymore, that I don't do enough to support her, and that I don't care if she's happy. I brought up the fact that I suggested therapy over a year ago and she agreed, but then made excuse after excuse not to go. I brought up the times she completely ignored the budget we worked on. I told her how it made me feel when she dismissed me, when I tried to tell her how I was feeling. The crying escalated then, along with begging for a chance to make this right, to go to therapy, that she would be better. It went like I thought it would go, and I felt absolutely nothing. I don't care anymore. Whatever I once felt for her is just dead and gone, and she might as well have been a second cousin sobbing about her marriage for all the connection I felt to it. Eventually, I just got fed up and walked out. She has been blowing up my phone with calls and texts, which range from angry to begging to threatening me. I started getting calls from her mother and mine too, but at the end of the day, I spoke briefly with my mother and calmly explained that I was sorry she didn't hear it from me, but my wife was sucking me dry financially and emotionally, and I couldn't do it anymore. She was surprisingly supportive. I'm currently in my new apartment. I unrolled the mattress in a box and went to Walmart for sheets. I ate Thai takeout for dinner at the kitchen counter and watched a bit of Netflix on my computer. I have everything I need for the next few days. My wife is getting served tomorrow. I keep expecting the sadness to set in, but it hasn't. I feel like 1,000 pounds are off my shoulders, and suddenly my future is full of possibilities. I'm going to travel. I'm going to try new restaurants. I'm going to take a job that actually makes me happy and proud instead of rich. Much to the internet's chagrin, I will ask out the barista because, despite unpopular opinion, she is both age appropriate, it's her family's business, and I do have the interpersonal skills to recognize the difference between customer service and an actual connection. Cheers, everyone! I'm going to have a beer and then take a walk around my new neighborhood. Alright, OP, he got it done, and now apparently he's very happy and very excited about the future. So now we've got 2 updates from OP that I've curated into one, and we're gonna finish off this story with that. It's been over a week since I asked for a divorce, and things are slowly progressing. My wife and I sat down yesterday to discuss the next few months. She is still extremely in denial about my leaving and seems to be convinced that if she offers me the right thing or says the right words, I will come back. I won't. I don't love her anymore. I don't feel any loyalty toward her, and the divorce is just a legal formality for how I am already feeling, which is that she is not my wife. She has gotten representation, and my attorney is preparing to offer a generous settlement, more than she is entitled to, if she signs quickly and we can start moving forward. I'm almost positive she will reject it in the hopes of keeping this going long enough for me to back down. However, yesterday I more or less said, I'm not changing my mind. Let's not waste money on the lawyers because you think I will. But I don't think she really heard me. I'm readying myself for a fight. I know a lot of people were curious about the barista, and I actually have a small update on that front as well. 2 days ago, I managed to work up the divorce into conversation with her, and she was surprised but seemed happy for me. She is a ceramic artist and invited me to a fundraising event her studio is throwing for our city's community pantry, and I'm going, so we'll see what happens. Thanks for all the support, everyone. I'm feeling extremely optimistic about my life, and while the divorce is sure to suck, I still wake up every day happy and excited for my day. I haven't felt like this in years. Final update, 1 month after the previous update. So, thanks to everyone who's checked up on me. It's been a wild few weeks, and now that everything is settled down, I thought I would post an update for those still interested. First off, I did go on a date with the barista. She's a wonderful person and I like her a lot, but I didn't feel any particular connection or interest in pursuing it. We're still friends, so no hard feelings. My wife has been extremely upset by the whole thing. I don't think I saw her display this much emotion in our entire marriage. She's been apologizing for her part in our marriage's failure and trying to work it out. She claims to be willing to go to therapy and says she knows the spending was out of hand. The last time we spoke, I told her it wasn't the spending, it was the fact that she didn't give a damn about my feelings, my opinions, or my desires. I brought up how we talked for years about having children, then put it off until she finally admitted she didn't want them. It feels like our entire relationship was built on a shoddy foundation. It's over. My position hasn't changed. I'm pushing forward with divorce proceedings and I'm hoping to be done with this by the end of the year. I actually got on a dating app and I have a few matches. I've decided that I'd still very much like to have kids, but at this stage in my life, stepkids are more probable, which is fine with me. I just really want an actual family and people to care about again. I'm trying to put myself out there, going places, doing new things, meeting new people. My apartment is absolutely fantastic and I'm loving it. I'm the oldest person living in it by about 15 years, and my neighbors are all 20-somethings who call me Doc. I'm happy to be alive. The divorce is crap, but it's not weighing me down. No regrets. And that is it, and I think it couldn't get any better at this point. OP is living the life that he wants, and he is open to new adventures and meeting new people and all that stuff. So congratulations, OP. All the best in the future, and thank you so much for sharing. Take care, OP. And like I said at the beginning of the post, now comes another story with an update, so stay tuned. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user Planet Venus. Am I the a-hole for wanting to stay true to my wife's wishes? I, 28 female, lost my wife M 2 years ago in an accident when our son was less than 1 year old. Throughout our entire relationship, from ages 20 to 26, she was very open about how her parents did not accept her and that she'd given up on offering an olive branch. She seemed to have made peace with the fact that they weren't around anymore, and my family always embraced her with open arms, so she still had some support regardless. When we had our son, Em told me she didn't want her parents to know anything about our child, even through the grapevine. She had let her mom and dad know that we were getting married a few years prior, but they didn't respond very well to the news, so she didn't think they would change their tune. If they did ever manage to hear about our son's birth, they never contacted us to say anything about it. They didn't come to the funeral. I invited them because I thought that maybe they'd want to be there. She was their only child, and I assumed that any animosity they had about how she lived would have been overshadowed by the loss of her in general. I heard nothing from them for 2 years until a few weeks ago when I got a message request on Facebook from M's mother. She said she and her husband wanted to know more about me and our son, so she invited me to get a cup of coffee since they were in town. I agreed to meet them to talk, but I left my son at home with my sister. They looked a little disappointed when I got there and he wasn't with me, but they didn't say anything about that at first. They started off with a few normal questions, how we met, what M's life was like, what our wedding was like. Then they started asking about when they could spend time with our son because they had a right to as his grandparents. I told them that my wife had made it very clear that she didn't want them to know anything about our baby. I felt like I was already betraying M's wishes by agreeing to meet with them and even showing them pictures of him. So the idea of them meeting him on top of all that was a little too much for me at the time. I said I needed to take a bit to think about whether or not I'd allow that. They both seemed upset about it and they started to argue with me, so I shut the conversation down and said I'd contact them again when I made my decision. I went home and told my sister what happened, and she said that she understood I wanted to listen to M's wishes, but she's gone now, and it's totally possible that her parents have changed. She felt it would be wrong of me to stop them from having a relationship with their daughter's only child. She also said I was just making it harder on myself by avoiding people who could help me raise my son since I'm now doing it on my own. I just don't want to betray M. Am I the a-hole? OP, in my opinion, no, you are not the a-hole. You are just complying with your wife's wishes. And since you are the parent, you're the one that gets to decide if you want these people in your son's life. Now, at the same time, I can see your sister's point. However, there's a very key word in what she said. have her parents changed? That's the key to this whole situation, because if they are still the same people that decided to never speak to their daughter again for whatever reason that you didn't go into, then yeah, I'd agree that I don't want those people having a relationship with my son. So yeah, you are not the a-hole if you don't want your son to have a relationship with them. Maybe he can get to choose that when he's 18. However, if they have changed, find that out first and see what's going on there, just in case you're thinking about it. And what do you guys think? What is your judgment in this situation? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community judgments to see what they said. Imotro says, not the a-hole. Parents that are capable of not showing up at their own daughter's funeral should not be giving access to additional children. You would very much be putting your child in danger by introducing these people into his life. This isn't just about your wife's wishes, but about the fact that they are not safe people and have already proven themselves bad with children. The fact that these people already feel they are entitled to some kind of relationship when they had none with their daughter and didn't come to the funeral is all the information you need to make sure they stay out of your life forever. LC78 says, not the a-hole. You are right to honor M's wishes as you're doing if she were physically with you today. She had her reasons for making what seems like a drastic decision to outsiders. Listen to her. They didn't show up to her funeral for crying out loud. They've shown you who they are. I'd tell them you'll have no further contact per M's directive. Then block their numbers and don't engage in other communication. Vlaxdrek says, not the a-hole. Forget about betraying M or not. The decision you need to make is, who do you want in your son's life? Who do you want talking to him, expressing their opinions to him, being a part of the village that helps raise him? I don't think it would be reasonable for you to think they would be anything other than toxic. Sure, maybe they have changed, but probably they haven't, and they've given you no reason to think otherwise. I think you are right to keep them out of his life, and that's for him, not for M. Additional information from OP's comments. M was outed in high school and they responded by kicking her out of the house and essentially telling her that if she was going to live that way, then she was no longer allowed in their home or their lives. Our son is my bio son, but of course M is 100% just as much his mother as I am, regardless of genetics. Our baby was her whole world and she loved him more than anything. Now, I didn't clarify that to them though, so I'm honestly not sure if they are aware they're not related to him biologically. M did get emancipated at 17, so I don't even think they could try anything on the legal front now because she wasn't their daughter anymore by law. Now, I was very angry with them for a very long time, even though I hadn't known them before. I was angry because I saw this incredible person I loved still felt so hurt due to the things her parent had said and done. Even though that hurt, M was always open about the fact that she still loved them. She wanted them to change, but she needed them to take that lead and offer her the olive branch instead. She felt it wasn't her job to fix what she never broke, it was theirs. I thought that maybe this could have been that olive branch that my wife had been quietly wanting from them for so long. I guess that I wanted to get that closure for her. Even if she wouldn't be here to receive their apologies herself, I felt like I owed it to her to see if they had changed for the better. Okay, well, community judgment is OP is not the a-hole, and given the additional context, I'd say, yeah, OP, you know what? You don't need these people in your life. Anyways, now let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. I figured I might give you all an update as it's pretty much been handled now, but first I do want to say thanks to all of you who offered your responses. The majority of you were very kind about it, which I appreciated more than you know. My son and I went and brought M flowers and just sat with her for a little while. Little man fell asleep while we were there, so I had a minute to clear my head and think things through. I listened to your suggestions and took a minute to consider what further action I could take, and if those actions would honor what M would want and also be beneficial to our son. I contacted M's mother to inform her that because our son is biologically mine, they don't maintain any legal right to see him, and I'm not interested in starting some unnecessary battle either. I also said that M made it very clear when she was still here that she didn't want our son to know them. She had made that choice because of how they had treated her in the past and had only been willing to change her mind about it if they had tried to grow as people. So it makes very little sense for me to allow them into his life if they have not done that. I told her goodbye and I wished her well. She responded and said that she understood why Em made such a firm decision because she and her husband did things that they could never take back or make up for. She told me she regretted every choice she'd ever made to make her daughter feel as though she wasn't loved. She also said that Em's dad was the one who made the decision for them to not attend to the funeral. He didn't want to go, for reasons she didn't specify, but it's not hard to figure out. And because she's been a housewife for pretty much her entire marriage, I'm assuming she just didn't have the resources to get a plane ticket to fly here. She left off by telling me that the only person who could forgive her isn't here anymore to hear her say sorry, but she still wanted me to know how much she wished she had said it before, and that for the sake of honoring what Em wanted, neither she nor her husband would be trying to contact me again. I'm very thankful that there was no severe conflict or anything like that, and that Em's mom was civil about it, but I just wish that Em had been here to receive the apologies she was owed. She had accepted that she couldn't change them, but she still hoped that they would eventually see the light and repair their relationship. She deserved to know they came to regret what they've done, or that her mom regrets it at the very least. Well, Opie, I think you made the right decision, and it's a good thing that they're not going to make a fuss about it. So, all the best to you and your son in the future, Opie, and take care. Thank you for sharing. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I really did enjoy reading them to you. So if you did, then don't be shy and go ahead and give the video a like. And don't forget to subscribe or even share this video with people that you might think will enjoy my storytelling. Also, if you have the time, go down to the video description and check out all the links I have for you, from our Discord community to my channel merch. And finally, I'd like to say thank you for watching. It really means a lot to me that you enjoy my videos. And having said all that, I'll see you guys in the next video.